Hi everyone, this is 8th grade Elevate, and today we are understanding functions. A function is a rule that assigns exactly one output value to each input value. Okay, here is a function table. In this function table, the x values are the input values, and the y values are the output values. Please note that every x value has one y value. And so, as you can see, none of these x values are repeated. I see the number 1 one time, the number 4 one time, the number 7 one time, the number 5 one time, 2 one time, 8 one time, and 9 one time. If any of these x values were to repeat, then this would not be a function. A linear function is a function represented by a line. So here's a line. A linear function has a constant slope. Here's your slope. Now, students may be familiar with what is called the vertical line test. And so what the vertical line test is, and students can use a pen or a pencil, move it along their paper to see whether it works. But I will model for you what the vertical line test looks like. Oh, let me use an accurate pen. So here is my vertical line. The vertical line test says if I run this green line across my x-axis, there is no overlap between any of the points. So there is only one x value for every y value. So see how none of the lines are overlapping? However, let's say I had something like this. And I wanted to use the vertical line test. This would not represent a function because there's some overlap. There are 2 points. Let me move it over a little bit more. So in this example right here, there are actually 2 points that share the number -5 as their x coordinate. And so this would not be a function. However, this line that we are given is a function because none of them share the same x value. So students can literally use their pen and slide it from left to right to see whether the graphs are following the vertical line test. Now, some lines are linear functions, and then we have some that are non-linear. So, this is not a straight line. However, it's still representative of a function because when I do my vertical line test, I see that there is only one x coordinate for every y. There's no overlap between any of the points. So from there, we can launch students into a turn and talk. For question A, It says you can determine if a function is linear by its graph. Identify whether each graph shows a linear or nonlinear function. So notice that it's telling you that they are functions. They just want to know, is it linear? Is it a line or is it not a line? And so launch students into the turn and talk and have them label each of the graphs and talk about how they know whether it's linear or nonlinear. Then from there, we are going to talk about graphing the equation y equals mx plus b. So it tells us that a linear function can be written as the equation y equals mx plus b. And to find points on a line, you can select x values and calculate the corresponding y values. So once we are given an equation, we can go ahead and plug in a number for x in order for us to find our y and then plot our point, right? So let's say, for example, I wanted to plug in the number 3 as my x. Let me use an accurate pen. If I wanted to plug in 3 for my x, then I know that these 3 would cancel out. I would end up with y is equal to 2x plus 1. Sorry, y is equal to 2 plus 1 because I substituted, so that x is no longer there. Y is equal to 3. So once I plugged in 3 for my x, my y was also 3. So I would have my ordered pair as 3, 3. So there would be a point right here. So they're telling you that you can use substitution any digit for x to find any digit for y, as long as you have the equation already, okay? The other thing that they tell you is the b in the equation is the y-intercept. This is the y-coordinate of the point where the line crosses the y-axis on a graph. So in this example here, whatever is being added to your slope or subtracted from your slope is called your y-intercept. You need to have a point here. So there needs to be a point at positive 1. Your y-coordinate should be positive 1. So that's why there's this point right here at positive 1, okay? Then it tells you the other part of the equation is your slope. So that 2/3 x. The value of the m tells you the steepness and direction of the line. So because the slope is a positive number, it is going up. And how steep it is moving 2 spaces up and 3 units to the right. Each point is going 2 spaces up and 3 units to the right to get the next point. So those are the different parts of the graph y equals mx plus b. So from there, you are going to model for students how to graph the line y equals 4 fifths x minus 3. Remembering your y-intercept first, so you should have a point at -3. That's this point right here. And then your slope tells you you need to go 4 units up and 5 units to the right. From there, you'll get this point and then connect your points to form your graph. And write down the ordered pair that you found, which was 5, 1. So then lastly, you are going to work with students on question B around taking some time to plot each of these ordered pairs on the coordinate grids, and then identifying if it has a constant slope, as well as whether it is linear. From there, you will launch students into 5 minutes of partner practice. And then they will do this last question as their exit ticket.